皆さんどうもごきげんよう。レディニーキです。本日も、お一人語学部復唱する編ということで、英単語の方やっていきたいと思います。コメントは最後に読ませていただきます。1時間くらいかな。これやってみるか。これでいってみよう。はい。ですで、イングリッシュ、ユナイテッドステイツ。はい。テスト。テスト。あ、いける。じゃあ、ちょっと準備しますね。一級単語やってきます。lucrative. He decided selling keychains was not a lucrative business strategy. Squandered. She squandered all of her savings on overpriced skin treatment. Flimsy. He keeps the cloning supplies in a flimsy cardboard box. Incision. The sergeant made incision in the chest. Lethargic. The medicine she takes makes her feel lethargic. Pinnacle. Winning the award was the pinnacle of her career. Array. He allayed his anxiety by taking a slow, deep breath. Tweet. Swimming across the English Channel is quite the feat. Ransack. Thieves ransacked the local jewelry store late last night. Caustic. The woman makes caustic remarks about her neighbor's new haircut. Frivolous. Her father begged her to stop her frivolous spending. Latitude. The students are allowed some latitude in deciding what to study. Adept. He's adept at repairing different kinds of electronics. Avid. She's an avid listener of podcasts about music. Asylum. He was finally granted asylum in Canada after a long wait. Placate. The manager was able to quickly placate an angry customer. Pristine. The collection of antique toys is in pristine condition. Blatantly. She sues the newspaper for publishing blatantly false statements about her. Attire. Applicants are required to wear business attire. Offshoot. The organization developed as an offshoot of the local university. Gullible. He was just joking, but she was so gullible that she believed him. Hindsight. In hindsight, they shouldn't have booked the trip. I should not have booked this trip in the summer. The soldiers were killed in ambush. Zenith. At the zenith of her career, he was interviewing famous celebrities. Prognosis. Despite the serious diagnosis, your prognosis is very good. Meticulous. She's meticulous about how she plans work events. Acrimony. The dormitory's decision to enforce a curfew caused much acrimony. He has always had a propensity for violent behavior. Entice. The shop's creative window displays entice many customers. Alienate. His arrogance alienated him for co-workers. Exonerate. She was exonerated after new evidence proved her innocence. Clamor. Nobody in the class could hear the teacher about the clamor. Respite. The war continued without respite for over 4 years. Huddle. They huddled together for words. Figment. That episode was just a figment of her imagination. Tenacious. Her tenacious personality allowed her to climb the corporate ladder. Extol. He extolled the benefits of yoga to all of his clients. Aversion. The boy has a strong aversion to visiting the dentist. Visiting. Immaculate. At such an expensive hotel, guests expect their rooms to be immaculate. Gregarious. Unlike her gregarious sister, she has a hard time talking to new people. Ostracize. She was ostracized at work because of her loud personality. Uncouth. His uncouth behavior at the conference shocked everyone there. Salient. The teacher quickly repeated the salient points of the previous lesson. Mayhem. In the film, animals escape from the zoo and cause all kinds of mayhem. Defunct. The drug company was founded in 1830 and now is defunct. Petrified. He was petrified of the idea of getting an airplane. Invoke. She invoked her right to speak with an attorney. Rebuke. The minister was rebuked after everyone discovered his fraudulent spending. Accolade. The movie director has received many accolades and awards. Solace. He found solace in art after the passing of his wife. Fervent. She has always been a fervent supporter of LGBTQ plus rights. Apathetic. Many older people believe the younger generation is apathetic about politics. Catalyst. The oil crisis acted as a catalyst for searching for ways to save energy. Wing. His enthusiasm for his work started to wane after so much overtime. Crowd. Her crowd with the association helped her political campaign. Override. The state council overrode the decision taken by the committee. Secede. In July of 1776, the American colonies seceded from Great Britain. Appalled. He was appalled by the treatment he received at the clinic. Debunk. There was a TV show that worked to debunk Bray's myth. Bent. She used to vent her anger by breaking pencils. Recuperate. The doctor told him he needed a couple of weeks to recuperate. Epitomize. The idea Bray will epitomize the value of the company. Rift. The rift between the two sisters has widened recently. Divulge. Lawyers must not divulge confidential client information. Dwindle. The store's stock of turkeys dwindled close to Thanksgiving. Denote. The blue lines on this graph denote company profits. Exodus. The famine caused a mass exodus of refugees. Hereditary illnesses can be passed down from generation to generation. Corroborate. We need to find evidence to corroborate your story. Inscrutable. His inscrutable personality makes him difficult to talk to. Emaciated. The shelter takes in emaciated animals and helps them recover. Affront. Her poor attitude was taken as a personal affront by everyone. Fiasco. After the fiasco involving missing money, he was fired. Aloof. She acts aloof and carefree, even around her family members. Altruistic. Donating money is not always as altruistic as it may appear. Quandary. He was in a quandary about where to go on vacation. Embellish. Although she embellished the story a little bit, it was mostly true. Renege. You cannot renege on the promise you made to your mother. Nudge. I gave her a nudge when she began to nod off. Indoctrinate. Dozens of young people were indoctrinated by the cult. Remorse. He showed no remorse for his crimes. The rude. He somehow deluded himself into thinking he was popular in school. Diffuse. Several leaders tried to diffuse the tension between the two countries. Precarious. The president is in a precarious situation right now. Precarious. Pain. The woman feigned ignorance when asked about the stolen jewelry. Abject. She started the organization after meeting people living with abject poverty. Ulterior. He had an ulterior motive when he agreed to the plan. Lamb-based. Journalists lambaste the government for lying about their welfare policy. Commiserate. He commiserated his sister about the sudden loss of a job. Flagrant. Their actions are flagrant violation of the law. Route. The taxi driver who flagged the law ended up paying a fine. Inculcate. Her parents inculcated a lot of believing her. Infer. He inferred what she said and he would not be promoted. Emulate. She emulated her father by joining the military when she graduated. Alleviate. Physiotherapy may help alleviate some of your pain. Staunch. The scholar is a staunch supporter of nuclear power. Disseminate. The students work to disseminate information about their fundraiser. Baffled. His children were baffled by his changing his behavior. Menial. She does not have the energy to complete even menial tasks. Candid. He received some candid advice about his job from his wife. Irate. The customer became so irate that the staff called the police. Creak. The soccer player formed a creak and always hung out together. Sporadic. Scientists expect that sporadic outbreaks will continue to occur. Await. Public criticism of their musician took months to abate. Idyllic. She grew up in a idyllic town in the mountains of Italy. Exquisite. From the beautiful presentation to the unique blended of flavors, the meal was exquisite. Tarnish. Her reputation was tarnished when people found out she was abusive. Vindicate. His strange management style was vindicated by the incredible performance of his subordinates. Vindicate. Auspicious. It's not really an auspicious time to hold a board. Fastidious. The pastry chef's fastidious attention to detail makes the cakes beautiful. Encapsulate. The book perfectly encapsulates what it's like to work as a nurse. Differential. She taught her children to be differential to their teachers. Next. Nobody did anything to stop the religion from being annexed. Pungent. The pungent smell of sewage made the man gag. conjecture, conjecture. Everything you have said so far has been pure conjecture. Master, master. Oh, master. She could not even muster the energy to brush her teeth. Forfeit. Forfeit. The team forfeited the game because of a violent act. Marquis, Marquis, Marquis. The diver could not see anything in the murky water. Bigotry, bigotry. The writer has frequently been accused of bigotry. Augment, augment. He augments his income by doing freelance work on the side. Unit 2. あ、ユニット2まで来た。なんか全画面みたいでやった。表示形式。まあでもこれよりか。これやってみようか。まあでも一回混ざってる。大丈夫か。はい。Reiterate, reiterate. Every morning, the project manager reiterates the specific needs of the client. Compunction, compunction. He has no compunction about lying to everyone. Deluge, deluge. The TV station has received a deluge, a complaint about the program. Diffident, diffident, diffident. She has always been diffident about her work as an artist. Mortify, mortify, mortify. He managed to mortify the angry customer by refunding their order. Torment, torment. She has been tormented by her fear about death for ages. Douse, douse, douse. He doused the campfire with a bucket of water. Debacle, 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 debacle. The general's careless mistakes led to a huge military debacle. Backlog, backlog, backlog. The school has a backlog of student applications to go through. Resplendent, resplendent. The queen looked resplendent in a pink dress. Quaint, quaint. Tourists flocked to the neighborhood to see its quaint houses. Tepid, tepid, tepid. Her tea turned tepid while she was in the shower. Tepid while in the malleable, malleable, malleable. Most of it was malleable as it can be bent and shaped. Poignant, poignant, poignant. The old song brought back poignant memories of my family. Exude, exude. He is always positive and exudes confidence. Confidence. Plague, plague. The soccer player was plagued with injuries throughout his career. Detrimental, detrimental. Growing up without parents can have a detrimental effect on the child. Inadvertently, inadvertently. She inadvertently ordered several cases of surprise instead of one. Culminate. Her hard work culminated in the success of her debut novel. Mundane, mundane. He spends his one day off doing mundane chores like laundry and cleaning. Succumb, succumb, succumb. She succumbed to the temptation of the cookies on the table. Vicinity, vicinity, vicinity. You should not smoke in the vicinity of other people. Park, 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 park. Becoming a frequent flyer member offers a lot of great perks. Fluctuate, fluctuate. His weight has been fluctuating a lot in recent months. Insurmountable, insurmountable, surmountable, insurmountable. The pressure to succeed placed on the development team was insurmountable. Impending, impending. Politicians are campaigning across the country because of the impending election. Contentious, contentious. The presidential candidate refused to comment on any contentious issues. Retaliation, retaliation. They attacked the country in retaliation for the missile launches. Circumvent, circumvent, circumvent. The company paid bribes in order to circumvent national regulations. Tout, tout. She is touted as the best saxophone player of all time. Refute, refute, refute. The teacher refuted the basis of his student's argument. Animosity, animosity. Despite being rivals, there is no personal animosity between us. Fugitive, Fugitive. Fugitive. The fugitives were arrested in a small town near the border. Ramification. Ramification. Consider the ramifications of your actions before you do anything. Adamant. 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 The suspect was adamant that he had not murdered the victim. Language. 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 He languished in a prison for almost a decade before he was finally released. Guard. 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 He owes me $200 and they had a guard to ask for another $100. Mirror. Mirror. It is not yet placed the mirror in other people's relationship. Reprimand. His teacher reprimanded him for using his phone during class. Engrossed. Engrossed. He was engrossed in the show and did not hear the doorbell. Anesthetic. Anesthetic. The doctor told her the anesthetic would well about 2 hours. Plunder. Plunder. Soldiers plundered the treasures of Africa and took them to Europe. Grueling. 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 Everyone was exhausted from the grueling journey. Precursor. 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 This fossil is identified as a precursor to the modern horse. Brunt. Precursor. As producer, she took the brunt of the blame for the project failure. Written me. Written me. Written me. He wrote a written of the complaints online about his stay in the hotel. Repercussion. Repercussion. Leaking any type of confidential information will have serious repercussions. Rationale. 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 The Prime Minister explained her rationale behind the proposed law. Clandestine. Clandestine. The couple had a clandestine relationship for years before anyone realized. Irreparably. 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 The car was irreparably damaged by the flooding and needed to be replaced. Irreparable. Preemptive. Preemptive. The counter the preemptive strike against their neighbors. Subvert. 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 The cyber attacks were carried out to subvert the democracy by manipulating election results. Liquidate. Liquidate. The furniture store liquidated their remaining stock before closing. Liquidated their remaining. Fruition. Some 20 years later, their plan finally came to fruition. Fruition. Consternation. Consternation. The report caused consternation among biologists. Garner. 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 His support of the robbers garnered a lot of attention in the news. Predicament. Predicament. The paper company is in the serious legal predicament. Contingency. Legal. Manager developed contingency plan for a burst. Contingency. Salvage. Salvage. He could not salvage any of his belongings after the fire. Barrage. 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 The actress faced a barrage of questions from the press. Deterrent. Deterrent. The new street race intended crime deterrent for the neighborhood. Bright. 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 Ambassador Bright her preparing her masters. Bask. Bask. The tennis star basked in the attention from reporters. Belligerent. 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 The CEO apologized for his belligerent behavior at the party. Rebut. Rebut. The lawyer rebutted the argument of the defense with great skills. Eulogy. Eulogy. He asked that his sister read the eulogy at his funeral. Commotion. Commotion. A retirement caused a huge commotion in the music industry. Accomplice. The group's accomplice came home away during press questioning. Pharisee. Pharisee. The idea that this up and lower finger has been proven to be a plagiarized. He received a failed grade in a paper for plagiarizing sources online. Conflagration. Most of the cathedral was destroyed in the conflagration. Conflagration. Obtrusive. Obtrusive. Many people uninstalled the app due to its obtrusive notification and pop-up ads. Pop-up ads. Adroit. Adroit. The stage actor is a great performer and admired by all. Enmity. 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 There is a 100-year history of enmity between the two countries. Excruciating. Excruciating. He woke up with excruciating pain in his lower abdomen. Versatility. Lower abdomen. His versatility is vital to the team. Foliage. Foliage. The area is famous for its beautiful autumn foliage. Bequeath. 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 The artist bequeaths many works of art to the museum. Cavalier. Bequeath. Her cavalier attitude towards spending money got her into financial trouble. Caliber. The IT firm is proud of a high caliber of its many employees. Brilliant. He put in a valiant effort to pass his entrance exams. Incontrovertible. There is no incontrovertible evidence putting my client at the scene. Camaraderie. There is a strong feeling of camaraderie between all the participants. Embezzle. She was convicted of embezzling public funds. Drive. The drab appearance of her office makes her feel depressed. Scruple. The nurse said she had no scruples about eavesdropping on patients. Feud between those two families spans several generations. Brash. The musician is known for its brash attitude. Encrypt. The company encrypts all sensitive customer data. Apprehend. The police apprehended a murderer after a car chase. Peak. The magazine cover near the cashier piqued his interest. And first. An inspection revealed that the house was infested with termites. Growth. His coach scolded him for gloating over his victory after the match. Archaic. Last year, the bank finally updated his archaic system of record keeping. Veer. 2 people were injured when their car veered off the road. Queer. The police could not cure the riot and had retreated to a more secure location. Saber. Tomorrow the team will be back at practice, but tonight they are savoring this victory. Frugal. He was frugal because he lived in poverty as a youth. Unscathed. It is a miracle that he escaped from the car accident unscathed. Glut. There's a glut of houses on the market at the moment. Knack. There's a knack for building small birdhouses. Farce. The journalist reported that the political debate was a total force. Interject. It is rude to interject your opinion into a conversation without listening first. Marginally. The quality of his work has only improved marginally. Broach. He decided to broach the subject of fostering a child with his wife. Misgiving. They had misgiving about her ability to win the competition, but she did. Reconnaissance. They made an early reconnaissance of the enemy position. Infatuated. She is absolutely infatuated with the boy, and it is all she talks about. Incoherent. She started talking in a thread, but the speech was totally incoherent. Morale. The coach worked hard to raise morale after 3 consecutive losses. Substantiate. Your essay must provide information that substantiates your claims. Erroneous. The assumption is based on erroneous and outdated information. Exacerbate. These measures will only work to exacerbate the poverty problem. Elusive. The giant squid is an elusive deep-sea creature. Stifle. The police stifle the unique criticism of the actions. Hatch. The robbers hatched a plot to take down the government. Exorbitant. The exorbitant price of rent in the city is affecting everyone. Confiscate. His teacher confiscated his phone after he was caught within class. Curtail. The state council tried to curtail its personal spending. Cessation. The country announced a cessation of financial support to other countries. Unit 3. Relegate. After the series of costly mistakes, she was relegated to a role with less responsibility. Bolster. The company is working hard to bolster its reputation. Reparation. The country was forced to pay huge war reparations. Turmoil. Countries all over the world are facing increasing economic turmoil. Country. Too many people perish conjures the image of romance. Permeate. The smell of freshly ground coffee permeated the room. Gist. The gist of his argument was that the school curriculums should be changed. Prolific. A prolific inventor had thousands of patents for various inventions. Admonish. The janitor was admonished for failing to clean the bathrooms properly. Route. The political party was lost more than half their seats in the rout. Disband. Police were sent in to disband the crowd of protesters. Somber. The brutes were somber in the room after they heard the bad news. Annotation. I would never be able to understand this book without annotations. Untenable. You should research more because your argument is currently untenable. Passage. The mayor has sought to assuage public concerns about the project. Flounder. Without proper training, young teachers can flounder in schools. Plunder. It is well known that governments tend to pound the rich. Overt. That persons showed overt hostility toward one another. Antagonistic. She has always been antagonistic to people of authority. Barge. He refused to budge even when everyone else disagreed with him. Sedentary. Her job is enjoyable, but it is a bit sedentary for her. Eccentric. Sedentary. The actress showed her accentuate her natural beauty. Ember. She blew on the ember to produce fire. Engender. His lengthy presentation did not engender much excitement in the audience. Inundate. Customer support was inundated with calls after the flight was cancelled. Rampage. The man went on a rampage through town, smashing several windows. Echelon. The fashion brand became popular among the upper echelons of our society. Disdain. Her grandfather openly showed his disdain for a choice of courage. Eschew. Our organization actively eschews violence and asks our members to do the same. Palatable. This brand of cough drop is much more palatable than others. Referendum. The country will hold a referendum to decide if it will pursue a nuclear power. Fickle. Her fickle nature makes it difficult to buy presents for her. Tantamount. To say nothing is tantamount to saying we agree. Placid. The placid surface of the lake looked like a giant piece of glass. Heave. With a heave, he lifted a wooden beam onto the track. Scroll. He scrolled a note for his mother saying he would be back soon. Implore. Human rights activists imploring people to be wary of the current situation. Accost. She was accosted by a security guard and asked to leave the area. Erratic. He was stopped by police for driving in an erratic way. Absolved. During the trial, the court absolved him of any wrongdoing. What? Archaeologists discovered a hoard of dreams in a tomb. Euphoric. The good news put in his family euphoric mood. Incarcerate. The woman was incarcerated for petty crime and it ruined her life. Brevity. His notes were brevity in the simple writing style. Pamper. I sometimes pamper myself with a spar. Culpable. Investigation shows that driver was not culpable in the car accident. Impervious. Her husky seems like an impervious to the core. Flowers. Flowers. His athletic prowess was a problem when he won the championship. Nonchalant. Nonchalant. Her nonchalant attitude about the scandal shocked her parents. Daughter. His parents told him to stop bothering and get ready for school. Capitulate. After 1 week, company executives capitulated the striking workers' demand. Rebuff. The council rebuffed efforts by activists to save the local park. Pedantic. The pedantic teacher deducts points from essay for even small punctuation errors. Squeamish. This movie may not be suitable for those who were squeamish. Diatribe. The journalist wrote a diatribe against the government policy. Reprehensible. He is ashamed of his reprehensible behavior. Cryptic. Someone left a cryptic message in front of our house. Exuberant. The friends were exuberant when their team won the rugby game. Parrot. She went to see a doctor because her skin was parrot. Accurate. He was shocked by the accurate remarks of his coach regarding his performance. Penchant. Looking at her wardrobe, it is obvious she has a penchant for bright colors and flowery design. Visual. The school held a vigil for the student who died in an accident. Sheepishly. The girl sheepishly admitted to the teacher that she could not understand her homework. Unkempt. No matter what she does, her hair looks unkempt. Wince. He winced when the nurse pricked his arm. The needle dilapidated. The parents turned the dilapidated shack into a beautiful cottage. Blemish. This article lists 5 all natural ways to remove facial blemishes. Poetry. The company rejected a poetry's 1% pay raise. Ambivalent. She seems to feel ambivalent about his proposal. Hermit. The poor lived in the mountains for years as a hermit. Quench. She quenched her thirst with a bottle of water. Despair. The manager's speech was meant to dispel employees' concerns about the future of the company. Love. Public love was a scandal is soon past and otherwise forgotten. Polarize. The bridge project has polarized the local community. Condolence. Offer my sincere condolences to his family and friends. Charlatan. Many suspected he was charlatan. Succinct. Secretary gives a succinct summary of the presidential schedule for the day. Infraction. He was suspended from school for infraction of school rules. Detract. The large sign detracts from the beautiful view of the mountain. Gorge. The Grand Canyon is probably the most famous gorge in the world. Equator. The suspect's equator did not surprise anyone because there was not enough evidence. Lurch. The passengers lurched forward when the driver suddenly stopped the tram. Adorn. The words adorn, paintings and photographs. Rubble. A woman has been found alive in the rubble of a collapsed building. Homage. She paid homage to the vocal coach after she won the singing competition. Stint. He gained more respect for the restaurant workers throwing his brief stint as a server. Procure. The market procures Robert's produce from local sources. Mortify. She was mortified when she stripped and fell in front of a date. Fret. His mother recommended he stop fretting about a small thing. Denigrate. Her latest essay was accused of denigrating the government. Consecrate. This church was consecrated 100 years ago. Ultimatum. Ultimatum. She gave him ultimatum. Finish shall end their relationship and their fidelity. Employees of the duty authority to their company. Premium. Premium. He has to pay high car insurance premiums. Susceptible. Patients undergoing chemotherapy are more susceptible to infections. Debris. Volunteers work to remove debris from the beach. Revitalize debris. Debris なんだこれ。The town conservatives apparent revitalize the downtown area. Instead. Good teachers instill confidence in their students. Hustle. Getting to the airport from here is such a hustle. Opt. She always opts for business class tickets when she can afford them. Disparate. All of the presidential candidates have disparate views on the current immigration policy. Elicit. The company hopes to elicit useful data from their questionnaire. Robust. Only the most robust people can manage to work in Antarctica. Shun. He shuns any products that are not friendly to the environment. Nomadic lifestyles are becoming popular again in the digital age. Disperse. Please disperse the demonstrators by force. Havoc. Heavy snow causes havoc all over the country. Mar. Their holiday party was marred by a winter storm. Inception. Our company has strived to support our employees since its inception. Resurgence. The release of the new book has led to resurgence in the author's popularity. Delve. His documentary delves into the lives of refugees in Europe. Embed. The old statue was so firmly embedded in the ground, and it took days to dig it out. Bestow. Many hours were bestowed on the scientist during his lifetime. Stringent measures are needed to keep factory workers safe. Dissipate. It took a while for the bad feelings between them to dissipate. Hoax. The course of the fire department were actually part of a hoax. Astound. The news astounded us all. Reinstate. He was reinstated after being proven innocent. Momentous. Graduation is a momentous occasion for all students. Adjunct. The smartphone app is meant to be adjunct to the book. Evade. She evaded taxes for years but eventually caught and charged. Benign. He had a benign tumor removed through a minor surgery. Concession. The company agreed to increase vacation days as a concession. Enlighten. If you know what was decided in the meeting, could you enlighten me? Preclude. The lack of data precluded us from performing appropriate analysis. Treacherous. Luckily, the ship did not sink while sailing through the treacherous water. Besiege. Paparazzi besieged a hall after this movie was released. Impeccable. He has impeccable taste when it comes to interior design. Front. The actress is always fronting her words to everyone. Revamp. The chef decided the restaurant menu needed to be revamped. Steak. He has a stake in the success of this project. Opulent. She won a trip to an opulent resort in Mexico. Frigid and dangerous condition prevent the airplane from taking off. Embargo. The government imposed the arms embargo temporarily. Blur. The app makes it possible to blur the background of a photo. Bemoan. Everyone in town bemoans the lack of a local gas station. Impasse. Impasse. Negotiations between the two companies reached an impasse this morning. Inconspicuous. It is hardly inconspicuous once you become a celebrity. Direct. The city introduced a project to restore the wrecked buildings. Meager. He uses his meager income to support a family of four. Decry. Protesters decry the plan to build a new pipeline. Butch. The first doctor bought the cosmetic surgery and she had to get fixed. Bout. I always have bout of hay fever in early spring. Collateral. We are playing up a horse at a collateral for a bank loan. Impediment. A major impediment to your success is your poor attitude. Precocious. A precocious musician, he can great instruments by the age of 5. Mediocre. The service at the local fast food place is mediocre. Negligent. The truck driver is negligent driving but are losing her job. Kickback. Some journalists discovered that the mayor was accepting kickbacks. Requisite. Some professors believe attending lectures is requisite to passing their courses. Exemplary. She was exemplary employee and won awards for her skills. Defiance is a very normal behavior for teenagers and sometimes younger children too. Concerted. They all made a concerted effort to improve product quality. Banter. After a couple of minutes of friendly banter, the interviewer began asking job-related questions. Antiseptic. You should always apply antiseptic when you cut yourself. Incessant. People living in the area are upset about the incessant noise coming from the construction site. Allegiance. Switch his allegiance to the opposition party after he lost the election. Delinquent. If you are 3 months delinquent in paying rent, you'll be kicked out. Fraud. Her mother kept prodding her to cut her hair until she finally did. Coerce. He claimed that he was coercing the signing the unfair contract with the company. Pertinent. Please provide the pertinent information on the reverse side of this form. Arbitrary. Many feel that the new school policy is completely arbitrary. Stagnant word is very influent of every type of syntax. Bane. Piles of paperwork are bane of my life. Morbid. He has a morbid curiosity about different stages of death. Purge. The new policy to purge the town of crime will not work. Pervasive corruption was discovered within local school board. Appraise. His first appraise at $200,000, which was higher than he had expected. Nullify. The couple decided to nullify the marriage of 10 years. Tacit. They had a tacit agreement not to discuss religion. Swerve. They called Swerve to avoid a cat and spun out of control. Perpetrate. The man was accused of perpetrating investment fraud. Reclusive photographer lives in a cabin 2 hours from the nearest town. Honest. And companies to inform customers when their products might be dangerous. Honest. Cinch. The cake recipes in this book are cinch to make. Mesmerize. The children were mesmerized by all of the beautiful lights. Lurid. The book describes the brutal details of the murderous crime. Exhort. The lawyer exhorted his client to tell the truth. Throng. She weaved through the throng of people like an expert. Thwart. His plan to steal the money was started by the police. Insinuate. Our father always insinuates that she will never be successful. Canvas. The organization sent the volunteers canvas for donations. Complacent. If you become too complacent, you will not succeed in life. Innuendo. That film was banned for sexual innuendo. French. ちょっとわかるのかな? He has a bad habit of clenching his jaw when he is stressed. Astute. The analysis of that play was astute and very thought out. Brevity. Everyone was surprised by the levity of the film, despite its dark themes. Faltered. His voice faltered when he spoke to the crowd. Copious. The artist threw copious amounts of paint onto the canvas. Retort. She retorted that the crime rate had actually gone down. Weird. The flowers wilted. He was hit of the sun. Accrued. He accrued a lot of debt in his student years. Reprieve. The few days of sunshine were local reprieve from the weeks of constant rain. Rehash. All the stories are just rehashes of one she has told before. Congregate. A large crowd congregate at the park to see the Prime Minister speak. Demure. Her parents raised her to be a demure young lady. Mock. The teacher gave her the mock exam to prepare students. Abscond. The waitress absconded with all of the day's profits. Ebb. His interest in history began to ebb after he started working. Dissuade. Her friends tried to dissuade her from moving across the country. Repudiate. The owner publicly repudiated the rumors of a merger in the rival company. Deposition. Lawyers conducted deposition all over the witness yesterday. Retention. Taking a nap after a study session can improve your retention. Propagation. The famous YouTuber was criticized for his propagation of conspiracy theories. Cringe. His dog bites beers with puppy, as cringes with raises his hand up. Unruly. The kids started to get a bit unruly when they are playing outside. Dislodge. Some roof tiles became dislodged during yesterday's windstorm. Tactful. She made up a tactful excuse for why she could not go. Derisive. She gave a derisive laugh in response to the man's comment. Blunder. The accounting blunder cost the company tens of thousands of dollars. Proliferate. The use of smartphones proliferated, and almost everyone has one. Boisterous. The students were in boisterous mood on the last days of school. Cops. The firefighter coaxed the cat out of the tree. Team. Our local park is teeming with all kinds of wildlife. Pariah. He was treated as a social pariah in his community. Vanity. Her vanity forces her to spend a lot of money on cosmetic products. Cumbersome. The gear and cumbersome, but it is also keeping you safe. Deplorable. Work conditions leading up to the event were deplorable. Extrovert. She is not such an extrovert as her elder sister. Bravado. He began to regret his earlier bravado. Dogmatic. She is still dogmatic to argue with. Lavish. He lives a lavish lifestyle in the richest part of the town. Contrive. The prisoners contrived a way to escape, but eventually gave up. Slur. Really got this remark as a slur on your humility. Omen. Some people believe seeing a black cat is a bad omen. Imposition. If it is not imposition, we will gladly accept your offer. Abdicate. The queen abdicated the throne to her oldest daughter. Swindle. It swindled thousands of people out of their body with fake weight loss pills. Slouch. Be careful not to slouch during the interview. Blanky. She is short and stocky, while her brother is tall and lanky. Reprisal. The terrorists threatened reprisal because of the sanction against them. Desolate. I saw the desolate landscape through the window. Perennial. This dish perennial favorite our restaurant. Bluff. Was only bluffing, but you had better watch your back anyway. Squirm. The cat squirmed out of his owner's arm and ran off. Transpire. There's a clear record of what transpired here that night. Above board. We always started business in above board manner. Eminent. Only the most eminent visitors attend the conference. Discerning. They offer quality products to satisfy even the most discerning customers. They all found the labyrinth of twisting galleries. あ、来た。あ、ちょっと時間あるんだ。よいしょ。ユニット5までということで。よし。OK かな。よいしょ。コメント見よう。よいしょ。あ、2ビースということでありがとうございます。まあ、なんかちょっとちらっと見たことある。こちらのページ。なんか後半に行くにつれて多分ちょっと知ってる単語が増えるんでしょうね。序盤がやっぱ一番むずいな。まあ、以上ということでありがとうございました。ではまた、バイバイ、空いています。ごきげんよう。それ